Welcome back to my channel. In my last video, I talked about how to make these pocket folios. Now I'm going to talk about the closure and how I make the closure and how many different things that you can do with it. All right. So what I did was I cut down a bunch of pieces to be different sizes. And so I have like piles and piles of these. For the most part, they are 3 inches or 4 inches long, and then they can be anywhere from um, an inch high to 2 inches high, and it's just about what you're going to build. And so you're building basically a cluster that you're then going to create into a closure. So going to this one where if you make this style, which is the straight plus the round, I'm going to show a different way to do that too. I'm going to make this a 3-tiered one. So I've already pulled out the pieces for it, but I have this round piece and I have this piece, which I've used, you've seen this one. This is the same paper, but basically when I had leftover paper from the ends of my cutting my 6 and 9 inches, I just cut them down to these little sizes I could use. All right, for the first thing we're going to do as we build is I'm going to put this on top of this. But before I do that, I'm going to ink both of them. And then they get that nice aged look. And I'm using walnut stain again because I've used Vintage Photo for a long time and they didn't have it when I went to the store. All right, so I will put this here and I'm going to take my glue. Oh, I do this every time. All right, I do that every time and then I forget. All right, so then I'm going to take my round piece. I got all the glue off of it. And I'm going to set it on top of my piece where I want it to go. Yep, pretty much there. And I am going to use my pencil. I'm going to set my lead just inside that and kind of follow the line. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. That was okay. This part about here got in. And then I'm going to know where to put my glue on this. So yeah, you have to do it with this because you don't want to glue your whole circle because it's going to go out and about. Now that wouldn't have been the end of the world because it would have glued onto this other piece, but normally I recommend gluing, putting the glue on the square piece and not the circle piece, obviously. All right, we have that whole thing and I'm going to put it here. Okay, this is already inked, so I can just put it down. All right. And then, okay, that's all done. And then I'm going to grab my stickers and I'm going to look for what I want to put. In general, I put words there. I'm a words person. And on this one, I have a good one. Okay, let's see. Where is my, here we go. I'm going to get out my little thingy and I have this sticker sheet. And I'm going to take my sticker and I'm going to use this because it's easier for me to place it if I have it like that. And then you place that right down on top. So you've built up this nice, interesting piece. It has depth to it, layers. And that's going to be more interesting when you're looking at that as a closure. I'm going to ink this for also interest. Now, if you are me, this is plenty of decoration for you. If you are different and you like more decoration, you can add on as much as you want. It's totally personal preference. All right. And now I'm going to put my, oops. Yeah, that's the right one. Okay, I'm going to put in my holes. All right, and I'm going to get out one of my brads, my fancy brads. And I have silver and gold, and I have like a brass and a copper. And I tend to like the brass the most. So that's what I'm going to use on this one. All right. And these I try to mass make before I do the others, just because it's nice to be able to finish one thing at a time. All right. And my biggest challenge with these, and I'll link where I got these from. I'm pretty sure I got them on Amazon. I can just give the link below. Is I have to make it so that the piece behind it is wide enough and the hole is in far enough that I can actually not show these pieces on when it's on the closure. All right, and I love the look of the small on one side and then the pole on the other side. All right. There we go. And I just do that while it's sitting there because I can stick a bunch of these in a bag and have them all done and ready to go for when I'm going to mass make the others. So there you go. That is my first one. All right. Now I will make one more. This is a completely different one. All right. I got these pieces. This is Echo Park. Off the top of a page. The theme was family, and I do like family as a thought, especially if you're going to be using this for a gift card or something else for somebody's birthday. So this one I'm going to make much more simple, and I'm going to just ink this guy, give it that little worn look. I do like the inking quite a bit. I'm a big fan of it. You may or may not be. It depends on what you're using it for. I just like the weathered look. It gives it more interest than just like plain white. All right. All right. Now I'm going to tack that down. All right. We'll ink this one. And this one I can more aptly demonstrate like how challenging it is to locate the poles. Because I think what I'm going to have to do is go in as close as I can to the edge of this. Because the other thing about the pole is it has a little bit of space to it. And so if you want to get it in the right place so that it doesn't overwhelm the first letter. All right, here we go. All right, so then we're going to do this. And I'm trying to get it right in the middle, like right at the edge. You can see I kind of put it there. And we'll see how well that worked out. All right. All right, let's put my little guy in on one side. Now, an alternative to this is that you could put eyelets in both sides. I've done that as well. And they look great as a visual interest piece. They come in, eyelets. You can get them in different colors, and you can get different, you can also get different shapes, etc. I have just been really into brads lately. All right. So I think I'll go with the more copper for this one. All right. Just your copper piece. And we'll see if I made the hole in the right place. If you don't, there is always the option to use, see, I got it way too far in, to use one of the, to use a wire snip on these to get the ends off. I think I did get it far enough in though. Yeah, it's going to be covered on both sides, which is great. I do put the square right over the top of it, so it kind of pushes it into place, and then you won't see it anymore. I still think this is recognizable as family, and I probably will still use it. So there you go, two different options of closures that you can do for those pocket folios. If you enjoy mask making and if you enjoy making things for your junk journal, I am always interested in hearing about what you're going to do. So please drop a comment below about how you might use these, and I would love to hear from you. Please like and subscribe if you like this video and want to see more of these, and I will be making more next week. Thank you so much for watching, and happy crafting.